In the summer of 1677, as wheat began to bow its golden head on the outskirts of St. Mary's County, Maryland, a heavy stillness descended, preceding a storm. The storm wasn't wind or rain, but a groan, a fever, and the subtle stench of death that crept up from the trees. The stench seeped into the wooden houses, embracing the bodies of the people as if it knew them all. Leonardtown was then a young town, still building its glory between the river and the woods. Its narrow streets smelled of salt and flour. The church in the center of town was the meeting point on Sunday mornings, where Hope would recite its prayers in the voice of the elderly priest, Father Augustine. But something changed that summer. The first to fall was baby Hannah, the baker's daughter. Her fever suddenly spiked, and she began babbling names no one knew. She was barely 3 days old before she lay in the hastily made coffin. The baker himself followed, then his neighbor, then Father Augustine. No one knew the name of this disease. They called it the Gray Curse. It began with a shiver, then a slight nosebleed, then the afflicted sank into a coma that ended in death. The earth groaned under the sound of terrified footsteps, and the very air seemed to hold the secrets of death. Farmer Thomas Merriweather, a man in his 50s, owned the largest tobacco field in the neighborhood. When the workers began to flee, he took up the pickaxe, defying the disease. "The land doesn't die," he said. "People do," but the land had weakened. The crops withered, there was no one to water them, and the rivers seemed less sweet. In the midst of this devastation appeared Eliza, an orphan girl living on the outskirts of town, who used herbs and read from ancient books left behind by her grandfather. Some accused her of witchcraft, but when she saved Margaret, the mayor's daughter, from the brink of death, people began to silently flock to her cottage. She had no cure, but she slowed the plague, healed the wounds, and restored a little hope. She would say, "Not all medicine boils over fire. Sometimes hope is what awakens the body." Slowly, the plague began to subside, as if it had had enough of the town's spirits, or grown weary of their patience. When autumn came, the trees were dressed in yellow. The cemeteries had expanded until they swallowed the outskirts of the town, but the people stayed. They built again, they restored the church and replanted the fields. Eliza's cottage became a haven for those seeking wisdom, not just medicine. To this day, the people of St. Mary's say that every autumn brings in its breeze the stories of those who faced the Gray Curse, triumphing not over disease, but over fear.